My name is Alina Hayes. I'm 30 years old, and 6 years ago, I did something that made my entire family pretend I never existed. Not exaggerating. Not, we don't talk much type of distance. I mean erased. Blocked. Uninvited. Deleted like I was some typo in their perfect little family story. And the wild part? I didn't steal. I didn't lie. I didn't ruin anything. I told the truth. Yeah, that was my crime. But here's what nobody knew back then. I wasn't the only one who knew that truth. Not even close. There were others. People who stayed quiet. People who smiled at dinner. People who hugged the same person who broke them and never said a word. And when everything finally came out, it didn't just break my family. It exposed it. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Before all that, life looked normal, real normal. We lived in a small town in Ohio, the kind where everybody waves, even if they don't like you. Where church on Sunday wasn't optional, it was expected. Where reputation mattered more than reality. My dad, Richard Hayes, owned a construction company. Solid guy in public. Handshakes, smiles, yes sir energy. My mom, Linda Hayes, the definition of keep it together no matter what. House spotless, image perfect, problems swept under the rug like they never happened. Then there was my older brother, Cole, golden boy. I'm talking varsity athlete, hometown hero, everyone's favorite. If something went wrong, somehow it still wasn't his fault. And me? I was the quiet one. Not invisible, just not the priority. I worked hard, stayed out of drama, did my thing. Nursing school, double shifts, paying my own bills while still showing up to Sunday dinners like everything was fine. Because that's what we did. We pretended. Until, one night, that pretending cracked. It was my cousin Jenna's 16th birthday. Backyard party, lights strung up, music playing like nothing bad had ever happened in that town. I was inside grabbing drinks when I heard it. Not loud, not dramatic, just wrong. A voice. Shaky. Please, just stop. I froze. That kind of tone, you don't mistake it. I followed it down the hallway. Door half closed. And what I saw, yeah, that moment never leaves you. Jenna, crying, back against the wall, and Cole standing way too close to her. Way too close. My brain didn't even process it right away. It just refused to accept what my eyes were telling me. Cole? I said. He turned like I had just interrupted something casual, like I was the problem. Relax, he said. You're making it weird. Making it weird. I looked at Jenna. She wouldn't even look up. That told me everything. Something inside me snapped right there. Not loud, not explosive, just final. Get out, I said. Cole laughed, actually laughed, like this was some joke. Alina, don't start drama, he muttered, walking past me like nothing happened. Like he didn't just leave a girl shaking in the corner. I stayed with Jenna that night. Didn't push, didn't interrogate, just sat there until she stopped crying. But the next morning, I knew what I had to do. And yeah, I already knew what it would cost me. Still did it. I went to the police. Not because I wanted to ruin my brother, not because I wanted attention, because someone had to choose truth over comfort. And apparently, I was the only one willing to do it. The fallout? Immediate. My mom called first, not to ask if I was okay, not to ask what happened. No. Her first words were, "Do you have any idea what you've done?" I remember standing in my kitchen, phone pressed to my ear, heart pounding. "Yeah," I said quietly. "I told the truth." Silence. Then, "You're tearing this family apart." That hit. Not because it was true, but because I realized right then she didn't care what actually happened. She cared how it looked. My dad didn't even argue. He just said, "If you don't fix this, don't come back." Fix this. Like truth was something you could just undo. And Cole? Oh, he played it perfectly. He told everyone, "I didn't do anything. She's always been jealous." And just like that, the narrative flipped. I wasn't the one who spoke up. I was the one who lied. Jenna's parents shut it down fast. "Misunderstanding," they said. "Case closed. No charges, no justice. Just silence again." But this time, it was louder. Because now I knew, and they knew, and nobody wanted to say it out loud. That's when the real punishment started. Group chats? Gone. Family dinners? Not invited. Holidays? Like I didn't exist. I remember driving past my parents' house on Christmas Eve, seeing the lights on, hearing laughter inside, and just sitting there in my car like, wow, they really chose him. Not the truth, him. That was the moment it clicked. I didn't lose my family because I lied. I lost them because I refused to. So I left, packed my stuff, moved 2 states away to Chicago. New city, new job, no backup. Just me. And honestly, those first 2 years were rough. Like eating ramen 3 nights a week, crying in the shower kind of rough. But here's the thing nobody tells you. When you lose everything fake, you finally have space to build something real. I worked. I healed. I stopped needing their approval. And slowly, I became someone they couldn't break anymore. Then, 6 years later, I got a call. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something in me said, "Pick it up." So I did. "Alina Hayes," the voice asked. "Yes." "This is Detective Morgan. We need to talk." And just like that, everything I thought was buried was not buried at all. It was waiting. I didn't say anything for a second, just stood there in my apartment kitchen, one hand still holding the phone, the other gripping the counter like I needed something solid to stay upright. "Alina," the voice repeated, "are you there?" "Yeah," I said, my voice barely steady. "I'm here." A pause. Then, "We've reopened a case connected to your original report." My chest tightened. Reopened? After 6 years? "That's not possible," I said automatically. "They dropped everything." "They did, but new information has come forward." Something about the way she said it, careful, measured, made my stomach drop. "What kind of information?" I asked. Another pause. "The kind that tells you your life is about to change again." "Multiple individuals have come forward," she said. "Independently?" I felt like the air got sucked out of the room. "Multiple?" I repeated. "Yes, and they're all naming the same person." I didn't need her to say it. I already knew. Cole. My grip tightened on the phone. "How many?" I asked. 6 so far. 6. My knees actually gave out a little, and I had to sit down. 6 people. 6 people who stayed quiet. 6 people who probably went through exactly what Jenna did, maybe worse, and carried it alone. And suddenly, that night 6 years ago didn't feel like a single moment anymore. It felt like a pattern, a long, ugly pattern nobody wanted to look at. I swallowed hard. "What do you need from me?" "We'd like you to come in and give a formal statement again," she said. "Your original report is what started this. Your testimony matters." Started this? I almost laughed. Back then, it didn't feel like I started anything. It felt like I got shut down, buried, erased. But now it sounded like that one moment, that one decision, actually did something. "I'll be there." The drive to the station felt longer than it was. 3 hours. Rain hitting the windshield, wipers going back and forth like a metronome counting down to something I wasn't ready for. I hadn't been back to Ohio since I left. Didn't want to be. Didn't need to be. But as I crossed that county line, it all came rushing back. The house, the street, the version of me that used to live there. The girl who thought doing the right thing would be enough. I parked outside the station and just sat there for a minute. Deep breath in, slow exhale. "Let's go," I muttered to myself, because if I didn't move, I might not go in at all. Detective Morgan was younger than I expected. Early 40s, sharp eyes, calm energy, the kind of person who listens more than she talks. She shook my hand, sat me down, and pulled out a file. Not just any file, a thick one, way thicker than it should have been. "That's all?" I started. She nodded. "That's all the statements so far." My stomach turned. 6 people, 6 stories, all connected? She opened it. "I won't go into details right now. That'll come out during the legal process. But I need to ask, have you had any contact with your family since you left?" I shook my head. "None." "Your brother?" "No." She studied me for a second, like she was measuring something. Then she said it. "You were the first person to report him." First. Not wrong, just incomplete, because now we knew. I wasn't the only one. "Why now?" I asked quietly. "Why are people coming forward now?" She leaned back slightly. "Because someone finally broke the silence, and others realized they weren't alone." That hit deeper than I expected, because I remembered exactly what that silence felt like. Heavy, lonely, like screaming into a void that never answers back. "And there's something else," she added. My heart thumped. "What?" "One of the individuals who came forward," she paused, "is someone very close to you." Everything in me went still. "What do you mean?" I asked slowly. "I can't disclose names yet, but you'll find out soon." "Very close?" My mind started running through faces automatically. Cousins, friends, people from that night. But one name kept pushing its way forward, and I didn't want it to be true. Not even a little. A week later, I got the subpoena. Court date set. This wasn't just an investigation anymore. This was real. Charges filed. Trial coming. And just like that, the past I tried to leave behind was dragging me right back in. Then my phone rang. A number I hadn't seen in 6 years. I stared at the screen like it might disappear if I didn't touch it. "Dad?" My chest tightened. I almost ignored it. Actually, I should have. But I answered. "Hello?" Silence for a second. Then his voice, older, rougher. "You need to stop this." No hello, no how are you. Straight to that. I let out a slow breath. I didn't start this, I said. Other people came forward. They're lying, he snapped. All of them. All of them. 6 people. 6 lives. Dismissed in one sentence. Or maybe, I said quietly, they're finally telling the truth. Silence again. Then, you're going to ruin everything. I almost smiled, because that line, I'd heard it before, 6 years ago. Same tone, same fear, different moment. It was already ruined, I said. You just chose not to see it. He hung up. Just like before. Some things never change. But the next call? Yeah, that one hit different. It was from my sister, Lena. We hadn't spoken once since I left. Not a text, not a birthday message, nothing. So when her name popped up, my heart didn't just race. It dropped. I answered slower this time. Hello? Her breathing was shaky, like she'd been crying. Alina, she whispered. I closed my eyes. I hadn't heard her say my name in 6 years. What do you want? I asked. Not harsh, just careful. A pause. Then she said something that made my entire world tilt. I need to tell you something. Another pause. Longer this time. I should have told you a long time ago. My chest tightened. Tell me what? Silence. And then, it wasn't just Jenna. Everything inside me went cold. I know, I said slowly. 6 people came forward. No, she whispered. Her voice broke. You don't understand. I gripped the phone harder. Then help me understand, Lena. Another breath. Shaky, unsteady. And then she said it. I'm one of them. Yeah, that moment, it doesn't feel real. It feels like the ground just disappears under you, like your brain refuses to process what your ears just heard. You're lying, I said immediately, not because I believed that, but because I needed it to be. I wish I was, she whispered. My throat went dry. When? I asked. Years ago, she said. Before Jenna. I couldn't speak, couldn't think. All those years, all those dinners, all those moments she looked at me like I was the problem. And she knew. She knew. Why didn't you say anything? I finally asked, my voice barely there. And her answer? Yeah, it hurt more than anything else. Because if you were right, then I had to face it too. Silence. Heavy. Crushing. I wasn't strong like you, she added quietly. I closed my eyes, because the truth, I didn't feel strong. Not then, not now. Just stubborn enough not to lie. That night, I didn't sleep. Just sat by the window, city lights flickering outside, replaying everything. Every memory, every moment. Every time I thought I was alone, I wasn't. None of them were. And now, there was no going back. I didn't sleep the night before the verdict. Not even for a minute. I just lay there, staring at the ceiling, listening to the quiet hum of the house. The kind of silence that feels heavy, like it knows something big is about to happen. Marcus was asleep beside me, one arm stretched out like he always does, like even in his sleep he's making sure I'm still there. And Lily, my baby girl, was down the hall, breathing soft, safe, untouched by everything that had broken me years ago. I got up around 3:17 a.m. Yeah, I remember the exact time, because it felt like the moment my life split in two. Again. I walked into the kitchen, poured a glass of water, but didn't drink it. Just held it, hands shaking. Because in a few hours, everything was either going to fall apart or finally make sense. The courtroom was packed, wall to wall. People standing in the back, whispering, shifting, waiting. This wasn't just a case anymore. It was a story the whole town had been following like some twisted reality show. Except this wasn't entertainment. This was real. Real pain. Real damage. Real lives. I walked in with Marcus beside me, his hand steady on my back. And I felt it, every single eye in that room turning toward me. Some curious, some supportive, some judging. Same as always. But this time, I didn't shrink. I didn't look down. I didn't apologize for existing. I walked in like I belonged there, because I did. Then I saw them, my family, or what used to be my family. My mom looked smaller than I remembered, like life had finally started pressing back on her the way she pressed on everyone else. My dad wouldn't even look at me, not once. And Paige, she sat there, hands folded, eyes red, like she hadn't slept either. For a second, just a second, I saw my sister again. Not the girl who posted about me online, not the one who cut me off, but the kid who used to sneak into my room during thunderstorms. Funny how truth strips people down like that. Then Travis walked in, and the whole room shifted. You could feel it, that tension, that quiet, uncomfortable energy. He didn't look like the guy everyone used to praise, didn't look like the golden sun. He looked tired, smaller, like the weight of everything was finally catching up. But still, he didn't look at me, not once. The jury came in, and just like that, everything went still. You know that kind of silence? The kind that makes your ears ring? Yeah, that. The foreperson stood up, paper in hand. And my heart, man, it was pounding so hard I thought I might actually pass out right there. On count 1, pause. Guilty. It hit like a wave. Not loud, not dramatic, just heavy. On count 2, guilty. My mom gasped, like the air got ripped out of her lungs. Count 3. Guilty. I closed my eyes for a second, not to escape it, but to feel it, to actually let it sink in. 5 years. 5 years of being called a liar, and now the truth was standing in the middle of the room for everyone to see. They kept going, one by one, word by word, and every guilty felt like another piece of silence breaking, another lie falling apart, until finally, on 9 of 11 counts, guilty. That was it. Done. Over. Truth didn't whisper anymore. It spoke loud enough for everyone to hear. I didn't cheer, didn't cry right away, didn't react the way people expect in movies. Because this wasn't a win. You don't win something like this. This was 7 lives finally being heard. They took Travis away, right there, in front of everyone. And for the first time in my life, he looked back. Not at my parents, not at the jury, at me, just for a second. And there was something in his eyes, not anger, not even regret, just realization. Like he finally understood this wasn't something he could talk his way out of.
My mom broke down completely, crying, shaking, holding on to my dad like she was drowning. And my dad, he just stood there, silent, like always. That silence that used to control everything, it meant nothing now. Paige didn't move. She just sat there, frozen, tears falling quietly. And when I stood up to leave, she looked at me, really looked. And for the first time in 5 years, she didn't look at me like the enemy. She looked at me like she understood. Outside the courthouse, the air felt different, lighter, like something had finally lifted. Marcus pulled me into a hug, tight, steady. "You did it," he said. I shook my head. "No, we did. Because it was never just me. Never." The sentencing came weeks later. 18 years, no parole for 12. And just like that, the man who was untouchable wasn't anymore. Life didn't magically become perfect after that. That's not how real life works. My parents didn't suddenly apologize. We didn't sit down and fix everything. Some things stay broken, and that's okay. Megan called me a few weeks later. 6 minutes. That's all. No long speech, no dramatic apology. Just, "I'm starting therapy." And honestly, that meant more than a fake "I'm sorry" ever could. Megan sent me a letter. Short, simple. "Thank you for going first." I read that line like 10 times, because that's what it was, wasn't it? I just went first. Now, my life is quiet, peaceful, real. Marcus still makes coffee every morning. Lily runs around the house like she owns it. And sometimes, on quiet nights, I sit on the porch, wrap that old red scarf around my hands, and I think about everything that happened. Not with anger, not with regret, just understanding. Because here's the truth nobody tells you. Speaking up doesn't make you the villain, even if it costs you everything, even if people turn their backs, even if you have to rebuild your life from scratch. Silence doesn't protect families. It protects secrets. And secrets, they don't stay buried forever. So, if you're out there, holding something in, thinking you're alone, thinking no one will believe you, just know this. You're not crazy. You're not wrong. And you're definitely not alone. Sometimes, all it takes is one person to go first, and everything else falls into place. And yeah, if you made it this far, I want to hear from you. What would you have done? Stayed silent or risked everything for the truth? Be real. Drop it in the comments. I read every single one.
America's most famous house stands as a the nation's enduring democracy, a timeless emblem of leadership and national pride.